Come on up, come on up, come on up. Yes, sir. All right, you guys, don't be shy. Come on up, then I can see you. I won't pick on anybody. Come up to the front. Keep coming. I need to see your beautiful faces. Thank you. I'm losing my voice, so if you're in the back, then I have to continue to lose it. This is my first year with glasses, so I can actually see people and I'm just like blurry blobs. 10:32. Did they tell you what time the next session was going to start in the last class? I know we're already late. 10:30. Let's rock and roll. Good afternoon, everyone. Is it morning or afternoon yet? Oh, it's 10:30. Good morning. Thank you to all of you that are here on time, ready to rock and roll. I appreciate it. I'm Jennifer Bagley, the CEO of CI Web Group. CI Web Group is a preferred digital marketing agency for Ferguson day and night. We've been doing this since it started. And today, you guys, bear with me a little bit. I'm only first session in and my voice is going. Do around 200 speaking events per year. And usually I last longer than the first session. But today, you guys, we're going to talk a little bit about how to grow the business. For those of you in here right now, how many of you are interested in growing the business? That is an objective. I need to know. Okay. Anybody just cool, I don't want to grow, I like who I have, I don't want to hire, I don't want to, we're good? Okay. Does everyone in here feel like they have an exit plan?
Like retirement?
Like sail up into the sunset, umbrellas in your drink, sell the business, loads of cash, hand the business to your kids, make them pay for it so they appreciate it more. I just made enemies of every child in here. Whatever it is, you guys feel like you have something in mind that gets you away from this business? Because I believe all of you started this business not because you love to work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Agreed? Why'd you do it? At some point in time, you guys decided you wanted to become an entrepreneur and run your own business. Did it sound fun? Or did you want more of something? Everyone is the same 3 minutes. I just saw Mike put his, how many minutes I have up. So I said minutes. Same 3 things. Everyone starts their business with the intention of acquiring the same 3 things. I want more what? Money. What else? Time. What else? Freedom. That's real. Say it loud and proud. That's real. That's why we did this. Does it feel like you have it? Like, who told us this fib? When we start our own company, all of a sudden these ideas of having more time, money, and freedom, they stop becoming the priority behind what we do. They're not first and foremost right in front of us. They're not exactly where we're spending our time. We're not making decisions to gain more time, money, and freedom. We're dealing with whatever is in front of us at the very moment in the business today, and we're reacting. I tell business owners all the time, when you start your company, I know you've heard me say it for years, set it a goal that says, I want to take 3 months off during the middle of summer and not worry about the business. Is that a good goal to have? You can call me crazy, come on.
Not practical.
Not practical. So the interesting part is, I have customers who've been working with us for a decade and half a decade that if one of them was sitting right next to you, they would say, I said the same thing for 5 years from now. I currently take 4 months off a year. My wife and I don't take my wife to this meeting and call it a vacation. She knows it's a dealer meeting. We go on real vacations. We fish. We have plenty of business owners who have been able to set up the processes, people, and systems to be able to get the very thing they sought out to get from the beginning. More time, money, and freedom. Now, it is a process, but I also believe whatever you believe is an option will be just that. If you believe that that's real, you will function differently than those who don't believe in it, believe it's not possible. As long as someone is doing it, is it possible? Absolutely it is. See, from my vantage point, it's different because we have thousands of customers. We've been doing this for a very long time. We've been working with heating and air conditioning and plumbing and electrical contractors for a decade. And I have data that shows every single little piece of information puts you on a different trajectory of which way you're going in your business, of whether you're growing or whether you're not, of whether you're going to stay where you are or whether you're going to move backwards. Sometimes it's personality. Sometimes it's decision-making ability. Sometimes it's participation. Sometimes it's no participation, right? It just depends on what it is. But I can typically predict the future of most businesses through an initial meeting with them. Now, there's some systemic things we're going to talk about. We're going to figure out how to leverage the digital space to be able to grow the business. This space is complicated. Some of you have been hearing me on this stage for 5 years now, and every year it's something a little bit different. Why? Because people like gadgets and gizmos. We adopt different cool stuff as consumers. We're now talking to our wrists. We're wearing goggles that can record and do searches. People are putting on VR headsets and they're entering their new house to see what it looks like before they get started. People are adopting new technology devices, and as they do that, business owners need to adopt different ways of reaching them. It's what has to happen. It's not going anywhere different. People are not using technology less, they're using it more. And the reality is, most business owners, and I'll put myself in the same bucket sometimes, we take too long to decide, so we miss big windows. It's moving fast. The trajectory of human beings utilizing technology in order to be able to manage their daily life, it's moving at a rate that is like nothing else. Now, that being said, everyone is a suspect when they first start looking for something. We have to take them through a journey that takes them from being a suspect, untrusting, not sure, unaware, uneducated, to a customer, trusting, educated, aware. We have to get here. And I will tell you, for any entrepreneur who wants freedom in their life, the internet is better when you own it. That is real. This class today, this is a 2-hour session. Probably wrap up in about 1 hour and 45. Leave some time for questions. But it is essentially to help you guys gain clarity so you can focus, decide what high leveraged activities you want to focus on so that you can execute, and execute so you can win. And I will be very clear about this. Without clarity, you cannot focus. Without focus, you cannot execute. You don't execute, good luck. Clarity is a hard one. Clarity is the version of the truth that's actually the version of the truth, not your version of the truth that's not really the truth. Let me slow down a minute. The things we convince ourselves sometimes are only the truth to us. The things other people tell us are sometimes only the truth to them. But it's not truth like gravity. I jump, I fall, that hurts. Right? That's true. That would be that day. Okay? As you guys listen to people, you listen to TMs, you listen to each other, you listen to speakers, you listen to web people, you listen to people on social media, you listen to people. Not everybody is an index for everything. In our company, we have 100 subject matter experts that are all independent experts of various different little things. I know enough to be dangerous about most of them. But I wouldn't claim under any circumstances to be a pay-per-click expert, or a retargeting expert, or an AI chatbot and neuro-linguistic programming expert. Know enough to be dangerous. Every individual one of these people and their expertise all have to come together for a company like yours to make progress. And we need to know, you need to know, as much about each piece as you can to be able to ask intelligent questions. Have excellent definitions of what results equals to you. Challenge is when you define things inaccurately. For example, if I say results equals my phone ring, in year one, it might be a completely inaccurate statement. If you make a decision based on that inaccuracy, you might start something up, cancel it, start over. Start something up, cancel it, and start over. Why? Because the definition of results was equal to my phone was ringing, when in reality it's impossible based on where you started and where you need to get to in order to make that happen. So you start over, the hamster wheel of starting over. You guys need to not start over. You need to make progress year over year. If you make progress, you will continue to grow. We have to make these definitions in our head that we make decisions on, we need to make them more accurate. Okay, so in our world, the only things that we can measure are technically systems. If you take the difference in the way an engineer thinks versus the way a graphics designer thinks, graphics designers, anybody know one? Anybody know a graphics designer? What do they like? In the back. What do they like?
Personality-wise, kind of.
Yeah, personality-wise.
I mean, my nephew, he's really good at it. But
Creative.
No, but he's, yeah, on that side.
Passionate.
And talented.
Right. Does he dress nice?
Yeah, he dresses up for work.
Dresses nice. He has real friends. If he says I'm hanging out with friends on Friday, there's real people there? Anybody know an engineer?
He got married, so he doesn't have.
Oh, he doesn't got no friends anymore. Friends are out. Wife, yes. Children, yes. Dog, yes. Friends, no. No, I'm just kidding. Okay. So, anybody know an engineer? What do they like? She said, What do they like?
Introvert.
Introvert. Do they care about what they look like?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. Depends on which side of the engineering bubble they're on and what the environment is. Most engineers do not make any decisions based on feelings. They're not driven emotionally. Designers are driven emotionally. How does this graphic make you feel? How does the logo make you feel? How do the colors make you feel? An engineer, they don't care how you feel, because the data will tell us how people felt. I don't want your opinion. Your opinion doesn't matter, because the data will prove what's real, truth. In our world, we have to measure things based on a system. This system. So this is called the 12-step roadmap to achieve accelerated results, and it's a system we've implemented for the last decade, have been designing, redesigning, tweaking, and modifying based on what the data tells us we need to do different. In reality, for you guys, sometimes when business owners start their companies, marketing and advertising and branding is this kind of mush of garbage that gets thrown out there with kind of no rationale. Just throw it against the wall, see if it sticks. Ask somebody what they're doing and do that too. The reality is, in today's environment, to connect to real consumers based on what real consumers do and love and like, we have to do the right things in the right order at the right time. If any one of these items is done out of sequence, you have negative results. Negative results produce bad attitudes produce lack of progress. So, each one of these steps is essentially your process of building a footprint that gets greater and greater and greater over time. We got baby feet down here. When we first get started, right out of the gate, if someone in here has no website, and we're starting with step one, it is an infant in Google's mind. It is what it is. The reality of starting today, it's much more difficult than if you would have started 5 years ago, and that was more difficult than if you would have started 5 years before that. But regardless of when you start this process, it still is what it is. So whatever it is, that's what we need to deal with. If you build a gorgeous website, properly built, meeting today's requirements, meets search engine requirements, displays on all sizes of devices, it does everything it should do, but you have no content, and you go pay a marketing company for search engine optimization, you will lose. They cannot optimize something that doesn't exist. If you want to get found for blank, whole house air purification system installation, whatever it is. If that doesn't exist on your website, you can't play that game. It doesn't exist. Can't go after it. If you have a great website, great content, you're on page 1 of Google, but your reviews are non-existent or bad, you lose. Consumers will not convert. Amazon has made it so the average consumer subconsciously is moved by those little stars. The lack of produces one result. The mediocrity produces a different result. The more of them, the more frequent, the more legitimate, produces a different result. If you have a great website, you're on page 1 of Google, your reviews look good, and the last time you posted social media content on your Facebook page was 2014, consumers think your business is what? Closed. You lose. You see what I mean? Every individual little piece is connected. If you have a great website and no backlinking program, you lose. If you have a great website and you drive paid advertising or pay-per-click links to a great website, your conversion ratios are going to be really low because the kind of consumers that click on paid ads, they're different. They need to go to a landing page with no options. Whatever they were looking for, they need to get the promotions related to that. They need to get the services that were related to what they were asking for. It needs to match whatever they were searching for. If they were looking for water heater installation and they found an ad, they need to land on a page that says water heater installation. We have this promotion, this promotion, this promotion. I got 5 reviews related to water heater installations. That kind of consumer that clicks on ads is a different kind of consumer. Okay, so going through these steps and stages, there are 12 steps and 12 stages. During this session, we're going to attempt to condense those steps and stages into 2 hours. Normally, we do this in a 2-day workshop. It's really immersive to get through it, but we're going to get as much done as we can. So first and foremost, talking about infrastructure, in the beginning of a business's kind of life online, the hard part is the money that you're spending up front in year 1 usually has nothing to do with growing the business. You're just trying to set the stage to be able to market and grow the business in the future. It's all infrastructure. It's things you've got to have as a business owner. We've got to make sure you have a domain that's set up properly. www.blank.com, not .ca, not .org, not .gov, not .co. Google has a preferred URL structure. Don't buy .net. Needs to be https www.blank.com. That's first. Anything we do wrong makes the hill we have to climb even steeper than it already is out of the gate. Next, we've got to have our email, our docs, our website hosting, content distribution network, website security, maintenance, administration. We've got to have our phone systems in place, accounting systems, finance, CRM, ERP, subscriptions, merchant, all the hardware, the software. There's lots of elements within this that can cause a problem. Let's see if we can get the basic things done. Number 1, Google is, it's everything. Everything should reside under Google. So your domain, when you buy a domain, the more disorganized you are about all the services you have to subscribe to, the harder it's going to be to run your business. The more ineffective it's going to be. If you've got a GoDaddy account, then you have an email hosting account, then you have a web account, then you have this account, it's hard. You guys, it's disorganized. In this environment, buying your domain name or transferring your domain name to Google Domains, that's going to be the first thing that's going to set you guys different than anyone else that's struggling all over. Domains.google.com is the single best place to own and manage your domain registrar. Not GoDaddy, not Namecheap, not HostCheap, not HostGator, just domains.google.com. That's it. Doesn't cost anything to transfer it there. When Google made this available, now you know that your domain is safe with a company that's not going to get bought, sold, or leave your domain and never land. That's safe, all right? Next, you need email. If you hire an IT company is gonna come in, they're gonna set you up with Outlook and Microsoft and Office Suite and SharePoint and servers. Next thing you know, you're 20 grand in the hole. You don't need any of that. You guys are entrepreneurs, you need to be hustlers, not corporations. So, not large corporations, I should say. G Suite is a simple solution, $6 a user per month, that you can set up your email accounts, manage your domains, manage all your security. You can store all your files. It's thinking. You can manage your business email and your personal email in a safe place. You're not going to business with at Yahoo, at Hotmail, at AOL, at gmail.com, but you're going to business with your company name. It's not expensive. And everything else you do is going to be stored in this environment. All your documents, your drives, your files. The beautiful part about this is you don't need a server at your office. You guys can technically host everything inside Google Drive. You can create files, sub-files. That means you could have a computer that's a Chromebook that costs $200 instead of a MacBook for $6 grand or a PC for $4. And that Chromebook is completely secure no matter what. There's no hard drive because everything is inside your G Suite account. You can access anything from the cloud anytime, anywhere. Does that make sense? Right out of the gate, you're $6 per user in your company in, and you don't have to pay for any other infrastructure. Your software and hardware costs just went way, way down. You're more organized. And because Google is a collaborative environment, you can create a folder, put all the stuff you need in one folder. You start with the new marketing company, you share the folder with them, boom, they've got your logos, your collateral, your pictures of your trucks, your team members, everything in a matter of seconds. It's gonna make you faster, more effective, more efficient, okay? All right, next, you guys grab your phones. On your phones, I want you to search your apps, and I wanna make sure you have Google My Business app downloaded on your phone. As a business owner, how many of you are owners in the room? Okay, it's your responsibility to make sure 100% of the assets that are set up for your company are all set up through an owner's email. So when I start a business, the first thing I do, buy the domain, domains.google, go set up an email, admin@mywebsite.com in G Suites, and everything I do after that is managed by one host email account, admin@mydomain.com. The lady in your office that says, let me do this for you real quick, I'll set up your Facebook page, say no. The marketing company that says, let me go buy your domain name for you, say no. The owner has to maintain all of the assets of the company, the business. You have to own everything and have it organized. You need to know the login and the password to every asset you have as a company. If you don't, the day it becomes an issue, it's a bad day. We're trying to get ownership of domains, somebody else owns your domain, you don't own your emails, you don't own assets, you don't own your Facebook page, all of that, you don't own your Google business page, all of that is a mess. We don't want a mess. We want clean, stable businesses that are set up correctly, inexpensively, easy to move very, very fast. Google Business, this is the only thing online that is completely free for you guys to make money on, and very, very necessary. The way Google Business works, you guys have went to Google and you see the maps, right? Has 3 options on a map. That comes from Google My Business. It only helps you in the city you have an address in. You have to own it, and you have to be very careful that you don't create 2 accounts, you don't merge accounts, you don't violate any of their rules. Be very careful when you're making changes to it. But on the flip side, you guys need to be very aggressive in publishing content to your Google business listing, because the ability to show up in the maps on page 1 of Google comes from those who have the most reviews, the most frequent reviews, the most content published, the most frequent content published, the most interaction. So don't be afraid of Google Maps. Put it on your phone, log into your account, make sure you can go to your location, and if it says add a promotion, add a promotion. If it says upload photos, upload photos. Do it every day. There are certain things you guys as business owners have to take accountability for. You gotta show up for your strategy sessions with your marketing company. Those are important. You gotta be a digital asset creator. You're on the ground at your business. You need to take pictures of everything. You need to record video of everything. You've gotta digitize your business if you don't wanna have to work forever. Taking everything in your business and putting it in a format so other people can find what's in your brain without you having to give it, that's how you get 3 months off in the summer. All right, get all excited. Just go like this if you want me to calm down. Okay, so how many of you have this app on your phone? How many of you could log into it and see your company in it? All right, we got some work to do. So no worries. We have people in the room I did not introduce, and now is a good time to do so. So in the very far back, I'll start with Miss Jasmine. So Jasmine is the account manager for Ferguson. Her clients know her well. They love her. She manages all the day-to-day activities. She essentially oversees all the nerds in the nerdery that do all the work for all of our customers. And she communicates with you so you don't have to communicate with them because that would give you a giant headache. And she helps, I kind of call her the chihuahua at the back door. She's going to keep barking until you answer. Think of it like a personal trainer. Like, we need a call, we need a call, we need a call, I need approval, need review. So that's what she does. I have Clay. Clay is the head of our sales department. He is who helps all of the dealers identify which of the programs you guys want to get connected to, what the overall initial strategy is going to be, initial direction. He oversees and works directly with the team of account managers and the operations team, and spends most of the time with Mike and I on the road doing exactly this, educating dealers, providing workshops, education, and so forth to try and help make sure that we've got great educated clients, and that creates great results in the end. I have my husband and our VP of operations in the back, Michael Hicklin, and Mike and I spend 9 months a year. Last year, we just got the total count. We did 159 educational sessions like this last year in 42 states in 9 months, just to put things in perspective. So people always ask, where do you live? And I'm like, I don't know. Totally no clue. Where do I need to be next week? That's where I live, right? In the summers, we go home. We live on a houseboat in Seattle. And this is essentially what we're trying to do, raise the level of education, knowledge, and awareness, because that's what creates great results. Where's Scott? Scotto, our video guy in the back. If you are a current client and you have not got on video with him, or if you love what you learned in today's session, grab Scott, or Jasmine will come bark at you. Get in front of the video camera, tell your story. It's a great way to get free backlinks, lots of publicity. We promote those videos regularly. So the reason I said that is, if you raised your hand and said, I have the app, but I can't find my business, go to them. So go see Jasmine, go see Clay, go see Mike. They can help you with that. Let's try and knock that out while we're in here. I would prefer if you didn't leave this hotel and go another year without having access to that. That would bother me. Cool? So let's knock that out. All right. Next. Oh, that's awesome, internet. Next is going to be, so the slide that's before this, the internet's not showing, but Google LSAs, Google Local Service Ads, that's also under the same umbrella. YouTube, also under Google's umbrella. Google Ads, also under Google's umbrella. Oh, local service ads. How many of you are doing local service ads right now? You're set up, you went through the validation, and you're showing up right now. Okay. So essentially, as I go through the 12-step roadmap, imagine the pie is this big, and everything you choose to do gives you a sliver of it. Everything you choose not to do, just reduce the pie by that amount. So for the humans who search and click on Google Local Service Ads, you don't get that piece of the pie if you're not on it. For the humans who search and click on the maps, if you're not in that 3-pack, because you're not publishing new content for the city you're in, you're not getting reviews in the right places, then you don't get that business. If you are not paying for ads at the top, and there are humans who search and click there, you don't get that business. And if you are not on page 1 of Google in the top 10, you don't get that business. Everything you add to your footprint, you get a new opportunity of new humans that create new results. Everything you don't do, it's cool either way. It's just knowing I'm not doing that yet. I don't get that market share yet. And choosing to do so or not to do so. All right. So Google Ads. I'm going to see if I can refresh this and if it'll load with their awesome internet. So far, everything that I have covered so far under Google's umbrella. Slow. All right, I'm going to switch to my Wi-Fi. See if that's any better. How many of you guys have a G Suite account and you're currently using Google Apps? Everything is under there, yes? Doesn't it make your life easier? It's so easy. Everything is under one umbrella. You guys using Google Drive? You store things in the cloud? You share things with external companies when needed? That is freaking awesome. So, what company are you with? Oh, you're a client. You've been through this. I love you guys. Cheaters. Okay. So, it's so much easier. When you have things all scattered, it's just such a pain. All right, let's see if that works better. Almost. Okay. So far, we set up a domain name in domains.google. We set up our email accounts in G Suites. Inside G Suites, we have all of our Google Drives, which includes Sheets, i.e. Excel, Docs, i.e. Word, PowerPoint, presentation. Whatever, every single app. You never have to buy Google, or you never have to buy Microsoft. You don't have to buy Outlook. You don't have to buy SharePoint. You don't have to buy servers. You don't have to buy any of that garbage that's old school, traditional IT guy. You don't have to pay an IT guy to man your hardware because you use Google. It's in the cloud. All right. Next, web. Is that for me? Oh, thank you. All right. So next is essentially your website environment, where you're hosting your website at. It's not just hosting. Wow, that's totally hot. That's good. So if your website is built with the brain, which if you're a client, you guys have big websites with a big brain, right? Okay? If your site has a brain, it needs maintenance. It needs more than hosting. It's kind of like taking an air conditioner and putting it in the garage, making it run and never touching it. That's what hosting is. It's the garage. Maintenance, security, updates, those are all the things you will never appreciate your web company for because you don't know what happens. It's behind the scenes. It takes lots of humans to get it done, but it's what keeps the website optimized and running to the best performance it possibly can, as secure as it can possibly ever be, and so forth. When it comes to security, 1 out of 100 dealers' websites is secure right now, based on the current clients that come to us and ask us to do a digital evaluation form. 1 out of 100. So A, that's a huge liability. B, it's a violation from Google. C, it's just kind of simple. There's a giant note in the top left-hand corner, right there. For insecure websites, it says not secure. You should not fill out any information on this website. Problem with that is, people think that my website only needs to be secure if I'm offering credit cards. Totally not true. Websites that are insecure are used as bots to deploy evil things. Why? Either because it's a kid trying to do something that's fun, or because it's a hacker trying to install a keylogger on everyone's computer. Last 3 websites that our team evaluated that were insecure all had keylogger scripts installed on them. What that means is, anybody that went to those websites automatically had an executable file loaded on their computer that tracked everything they did when they went to their bank and every other website on that computer. Yet an insecure website, installing a virus on a computer that was insecure because they were using a PC, and deploying something that is collecting logins, passwords, social security, and everything else, and then selling it on a black market for $13 a pop. You have to have a secure website. I'll leave that alone. All right. Next, branding. Here's what you need. AC Doctors. In your Google folder, you need a folder that says AC Doctors Branding Guidelines. And inside that folder, you need to put your logo in all different versions. PSD file, vector file, your favicon. You need to have your PMS colors, your HTML colors, your Google fonts that are part of your website, your branding guidelines, your images for your truck wraps. All of these items need to be in a single folder inside your Google Drive. So when you work with your marketing company, you go, boom, here's my folder, let's rock and roll. Otherwise, you spend the first 3 months trying to acquire all these things. So everyone that doesn't have a branding folder, like buckle down, get it done, call it a day, check off your list, and you never have to worry about it again. That would make your life so much easier as a business. Cool? Okay, so same thing while we're here. Create a folder, file in your Google Drive. That's a password file. Get all of your links to everything you're subscribed to, logins and passwords in one file. Secure file, only belong as the business owner. Get organized. You're gonna see what places you're spending money you don't need to be spending. If you have to have your marketing rep take care of things for you, you share the file and the things that are necessary with them. So you create a tab that's only for marketing things. Make sense? That would save a lot of time, right? Anybody that's been through this process, it's hard getting y'all off the ground. Like the beginning is a tough project. Okay. So far we primarily talked about branding and just infrastructure. Right now, got a little bit of dollars out the door in trying to take care of these things. We're still on step 1, and we haven't started on website yet. Jasmine, can I borrow you? Awesome. So, when it comes to your website, I'm gonna have Jasmine showcase a few of the sites. Let me just ask you this first, as she's getting ready. What do you guys do when you need something for your house? For your home, for your anything, it doesn't matter what it is. What do? You Google it? Raise your hand if you Google it and look around. Look around. Okay, turn around, look around. That's the data you need. It's right here in this room. And it's in every single audience in Dubuque, Iowa, in Florida, in Sarasota, in Toronto, in Seattle, Washington, in Portland, Oregon, here. It doesn't matter where we are. The data is identical. Every single room says the same thing. If I need something, I Google it. So for you guys, to grow your business, instead of bouncing all over and trying to dibble and dabble in a bunch of everything, know this. You need a website that clearly showcases who you are, what you do, where you do it, and that website needs to be an option on page 1 of Google for the services you want to sell, in the cities you want to sell it. It needs to look the best when you get there, and you need to give humans the ability to communicate with you with whatever devices they like. If they like to text, let them text. If they like to call, and you guys, how do you like to text? You prefer text over calls? Raise your hand, look around. How many of you think everybody that said texting is impersonal and a call is correct? Raise your hand and look around. Right. You did like you would argue. Humans are different. Everybody likes different stuff. So it's not about arguing which is right or wrong, because the only thing that's right is letting them choose. If they rather chat, how many of you prefer to chat with the bot on a website? Anybody here? Usually I'm gonna get every woman and 50% of the audience. Okay? Why? Women like multitask. They're like, I got 7 windows open, and I'm scheduling an appointment over here, I fixed my banking over here, I did this over here, I did that over there, boom, done. Right? All with chatbots. All right, Jasmine's gonna show you a couple websites to give you an example of the kind of websites that are included as a part of the Dealer Elite program. Okay. And I'm gonna drink my hot tea for a couple minutes and buy some time.
So this is a dealer out in Arizona. Sorry, I'm not used to her computer. That we did. They signed on last time at this event, and they use their logo a lot. If you see their logo is Monster Air. Think of out of this world, something fancy, something fun. It kind of goes through. That's kind of what you need. What she's talking about, you need a page for what you want to do, where you want to do it. If I hover over their AC pages, they're going to drop down. AC repair and service, AC replacement installation, AC maintenance and tune-up. Do you have a page for anything that you want to sell? And do you have it for where you want to sell it? So they sell in Chandler, they sell in Queen Creek, Sun Lakes, and surrounding areas. If you guys don't have these different pages, you don't have the SEO. I talked to Carlos about this just a month ago. If you don't have it, and yes, it looks very cluttered sometimes, Google's not going to be able to rank you. They're not going to be able to put you into the drawer that you want to be in. You're not going to show up. You're not going to be an option for them. And if you're not an option, you're not going to make any money. No matter where you are, you're not going to make money. I've gone through different ones. Every kind of day and night customer that comes on, they deal with me. I try and take as much information. Tony knows. I am a hound dog. I will call. I will come up. I showed up at his office. It's what I do. I want to make sure that I'm doing what I can do, and that your websites are kind of showing through in that sense. Another one that we have is KJ Cooling. Within their logo and their design, you get the swirl effect. And if you slide down, thank you. And if you slide down, it goes through all the way around. You want your website to be fully branded in the same content. You want the top to look at the bottom, and you want the bottom and the middle to represent what you guys are. Their logo is a swirl. It's wind. We're going to animate it though. But it's kind of who they are, the colors, everything is branded together. You don't want to have your logo with red and green and then have your website in black and orange. You want everything to be the same. You want to be able to have your design feel for who you are and be customized to your guys' company, to who you brand yourself, how you represent yourself. And that's what we do within our websites and in the design that kind of plays into effect. And you want your guys' menus to be very clear to what you're doing. You want your sites to be very clear to where you're selling. You want to have that customization, but you want it to feel like home. Because for me, if I click on a website, like we just did his, if I click on a website, I don't know where you are, I'm not gonna stay. I don't know if you're in my area. I don't know if you're gonna service me. But if I click on and I see my backyard, where I'm at, I see my city, I know you guys are coming, I see your guys' trucks and everything around, I know who you are, we're gonna convert with you. That's how it is. Logic kind of going to play. Any dealer that wants to have clients convert in that area where you guys are needs to have something that feels like home to your guys' clients. It's point blank, you have to have it. Weathermasters needs to be updated. So anything that comes into play that gets outdated, websites last maybe 18 months if you're lucky. You have to refresh them all the time. You have to constantly update it. Things go out of style, things get replaced, the map, everything doesn't flow as well because 2 years ago, that's how it was. That's what the design was. That's what people were looking at. They didn't think too much. In this day and age, within this last year, marketing has developed so much that you guys have to be on top of it, constantly moving, constantly going. Elite Air, I just refreshed their website not even a year ago. It already needs to be updated again. The design, the menu, it's so different. The way that we interact, the way that you see things. More animation is key. Videos kind of going throughout your website. All of that plays a big effect in who you are and how you're going to brand it to. Everything is everly changing and you guys have to keep up. And I know some of you guys are very old school. You want the old feel. You guys did yellow pages, you did all that. Digital marketing is the only way to go now with how millennials are kind of going through. Your design has to speak to that. And I mean, I'm a millennial. I will be the one to first tell you your design, it's not going to work. You guys have to keep ever changing. You guys have to keep growing. You guys have to make sure you're evolving with the entire process as well. What else did you want me to hit on?
You're golden.
Okay.
Feel free to hang out if you like. So, if you're part of the Day and Night Dealer Elite program, technically you just need to show up for meetings and say yay or nay. We take care of the rest. You don't have to do it yourself. I don't think most of it wouldn't happen if it was. You don't have to do it yourself. What you do is have to be flexible. You have to know when we call up and say, hey, we're going to rebuild your website. You're like, okay. I think in the beginning you're why, right? In the beginning it's frustrating a little bit, but by the time we launch a website, we've already retired whatever we're building that website on. We're already working on the next phase because there's a bunch of engineers reading data that says things need to be different in the next 6 months. So we build and launch a group of websites, retire that technology. We're already working on the next year's technology right when we do that. Okay, so essentially the way to look at this is if you go into this knowing that consumers search on Google to find services, products and services that they need, understanding how Google works, here, you could take that. Understanding how Google works is going to help you guys be able to better position yourself to make progress. You guys seen this movie? Okay, so every time you go to Google and you do a search, you search for air conditioner installation in blank, air conditioner repair in blank, air conditioner maintenance in blank, AC service in blank, AC repair in blank, AC replacement in blank, AC inspection in blank. Those are all your search terms, right? Some of your search terms. Google essentially opens this giant file cabinet, and inside that file cabinet are bunches of pieces of paper, pages on websites. If you have pages inside that file drawer, congratulations, that's step one. That says you're ready to play that game. Now, where those pages show up in Google search depends on how popular the website is as a whole, how popular the individual pages are as a whole. So think of it this way. Go ahead. Identifying first, what do you want to sell? That is AC repair, AC installation, AC maintenance, AC tune-up, air conditioner installation, air conditioner replacement, air conditioner service, air conditioner tune-up, whole house air purification system installation, ductless air conditioning installation, ductless air conditioning replacement, furnace installation, heater replacement, furnace replacement. You get my drift, right? When you identify what do you want to sell, that creates a product catalog for your business. When you identify where do you want to sell it, you have to start in the home base where you have an address. Google's not going to let you show up in other cities before you own your own home base. You have to own that first. So what do you want to sell? That's a big list. For us, we've gotten good about not making you think. You just check a bunch of boxes on a big old onboarding form, and every single one of those tells us what you want to sell. You don't even have to think about it. We already know the search terms that consumers are looking for. We just need to know, do you offer the service? We need to know, where do you offer the service? This is going to change every year. So if you're a current client, we ask you to fill out these onboarding forms. Don't choke us because it's a new year. We know your business changes. We would be ignorant if we didn't ask you every year, now tell us what services you sell. Now tell us what cities you want to sell it. We need to know that as it grows. Next, are you an option on Google? Every service you want to sell and city you want to sell it ranks somewhere in that file drawer. Where it ranks is your definition of progress. When you attach the word progress or results, you've got to attach something that's real. So in order for you to grow, what you need to know is, I want to get found for ductless air conditioner installation in Bakersville, California, for example. And I am currently number 140,000 of 1.1 million, whatever that number is. In order for y'all to make any money, you need to be in the top 10 of however many pages are in that singular drawer for the service you want to sell in the city you want to sell it. Make sense? Okay. So what do you want to sell? Where do you want to sell it? Are you an option on page 1 of Google? Once you are an option, your mind needs to change. In the beginning, you're just trying to get to page 1. Once you're there, you need to convert. Do you look the best when they get there? So when you guys sit down with Jasmine and you go through your rankings and she says, this is on page 1, this is on page 1, this is on page 1, this is on page 1. The next thing you have to focus on is, do we look the best when we get there? Are we financing first? Are we saying that we have financing options available where it makes sense? Do we have the best promotions when it makes sense? Do I have case studies, pictures, videos, before and after pictures? Do I have content that's relevant to that? If you show up on page 1 of Google and it's a page that doesn't have anything on it, highly likely they'll land there and they will bounce. It doesn't mean you're going to get the lead. It means you were an option. Doesn't mean they chose to take action. That's phase 2. Make sense? Got it. And are you easy to contact? That is, do you let them text? Do you let them schedule? Do you let them chat? Do you let them fill out a form? What do you let the consumer do? Because their preference matters, not yours. Okay? All right. So, every time you go to Google and you search for something, a drawer flies open, and it actually tells you how long it takes to open the drawer. So in 0.6 seconds, in 0.9 seconds, in 0.1 seconds, a drawer flies open, and that drawer has 233,000 pages in it. You need to be in the top what to make any money? 10. That drawer has 10.2 million pages in it. This drawer has 1.2 million pages in it. Which one of these drawers can you make the most amount of money the fastest? Top one, right? So, be careful who you listen to. Sometimes out here, sales guys telling dealers that this is where we need to go, or you need to focus on this. I heard yesterday, somebody said you need to go after LA, you need to focus on Los Angeles. Let's get out of here and go look. What do you want to sell? Tell me something. What kind of services? So let's search for services. How many pages in the drawer? Let's try again.
22 billion.
All right. What do you want to sell? Try again. Heat pumps. I will tell you right out of the gate. You are going to be competing with the likes
Amazon.
of companies that have 6 to 7 figure monthly budgets for digital marketing and advertising. Why? Because that's a product search. You're competing with Home Depot, Amazon, Walmart. Make sense? That's hard. That's an e-commerce search. So if you go after that expecting your phone to ring, you're gonna be disappointed. So tell me, what do you want to sell? Do it again. Ductless splits. What kind of search is this? Product sale. Okay? Ductless repair. Try again. In Los Angeles. Let's try that. I love having a van. You might have a free plane ticket. Just kidding. Okay, let's pause. Is that a moneymaker? Is that a moneymaker? So let me give you some math. In our world, once you have step 1 through 6 perfected of the 12-step roadmap, which is part of the Dealer Elite program, it takes us on average 30 days per 100 page results to get ranked on page 1. Once you have the infrastructure in place, it takes approximately 30 days per 100,000 page results. So if I want to sell ductless repair in Los Angeles, oops,
Sorry.
how many months would it have taken to get found? Okay, perfect. So when would I want to start this? Now. Good job. Take away ductless, and let's add AC. Okay, you get my drift, right? Every combination. Look, so how about this? Let's go here. We're gonna go here. Let's go to ductless HVAC services, search for that. So, okay, pause before you do that. If your website is a giant store, every page in that store is a new product you can sell. So if I launch a gas station and I put 5 products in the store, how much money can I make? Not much, right? I only got 5 things I can sell. The bigger the products or pages inside your website, the larger volume of pages you have in your website, the more products you have on your shelves. I will tell you, a dealer that has 1,000 pages on their website is probably doing 30 million in annual sales. And a dealer who has 25 pages on their website is probably doing less than $250,000 in sales. There is a direct correlation between the total products in your store, pages in your website, and the cash value of your overall business and the leads and opportunities. Now there's things that can modify that, like picking the wrong cities, picking the wrong products, going after something that doesn't have a high search volume. There's a whole bunch of things, but let's go look at ductless HVAC services. How many pages in the drawer? 56,000? Is that an easy win-win chicken dinner? No winner chicken dinner? Okay, scroll down. These are the ads. So if you're paying for ads on that, I think it's pointless because that was an easy win for organic. Why pay for ads? Maps, if you have an address in this location, that's our client. Scroll down, that's our client. That's our client. That's our client. That's our client. That's not. That's not. That is. That is. 8 out of the 10 options on this page are our clients. They're not competing against each other because we're not trying to pull them backwards. Other agencies, I guarantee you, I see somebody's website in the middle there, whoever that was. I guarantee you, this one, we'll say this. If they have an agency trying to get page 1, position 1, they are probably trying to murder our sites up above. They do that by paying $5 to somebody on Fiverr to give us a whole bunch of backlinks that are bad, Our company has to go through every one of our clients' backlinks every single month. It's nothing anyone would ever appreciate because you don't know it takes place. And we have to go figure out what are all the bad backlinks that the competitors are putting on your site to try and drag you down while we're trying to do the things to drag you up, pull you up. Make sense? It's constant. The beauty about this is we're not trying to hurt you guys, right? Consumers always gonna have choices on page one. What we want is they're only you guys. I just want them to choose from y'all. Okay. So as you change these, get rid of HVAC, just turn it into AC.
Douglas too?
Yeah, go ahead. AC services Bakersfield. Your pages go up. So for you guys, remember this, 100% of nothing is nothing. Not all the advice you get is good advice. Unfortunately, when you start this process, in the beginning, you're paying for something that is not producing any leads. If there are 4 million pages on page one of Google, and you are number 3,300,099, you made a lot of progress, but you're not making any money. And that's a hard pill to swallow for businesses, but it's a real one. And there's plenty of people that will say other things. But the beauty of this is, regardless of what anybody says, it's math. It's mathematics. The only time it becomes not mathematics is a feeling a consumer gets when they get to your website because you were an option. Was it better than the feeling they got on the other two options that they looked at? What the feeling they got when your customer service rep, your CSR answers the phone, and they say, "It's a good day at AC, how can I help you?" Or they say, "AC." There's a whole bunch of little kind of tweaks that can cause it to go south or north. All right. Okay, does that make sense? So you guys, finding the right combination of search terms, you're gonna have a whole bunch of search terms that are more competitive, that probably have more opportunity, but you might not rank for them yet. It is what it is. You can't fake this. We can't automatically throw 6,000 backlinks on your website, call it a day, and go, all right, Google, they're the best. I know they started yesterday, but trust me, they're great. Like, it doesn't work that way. You'll get banned. You have to earn the rights over time to grow.
Can I ask this?
Yes? Oh, sorry. Thank you, Jasmine. Thank you, guys. Okay. So, every time a human does a search online, this list shows up. Everybody Googles it when they need something, right? When somebody Googles it and this list shows up, your guys' options to make money are either in the Google service ads, in the pay-per-click ads, in the maps if you have an address in a city in that they're looking at, that they live in, or in the top 10 organic results. Let me ask you guys, how many of you click on ads when you do searches? Raise your hands and look around.
Only on my competition.
Okay, if you're trying to charge your competition $42 a click, put your hand down. I love you, but jeez. So how many of you truly click on ads when you guys are doing a search for something that you need? Not trying to charge your client or your competitors. Okay, raise your hand, look around. Keep it up, raise your hand, look around. Okay, 2. The average in any audience, a room of 100 is typically 2, about 2%. All right? Does it matter? It does if you're not anywhere else, right? I'm not a huge fan of ads. I don't personally like, as an entrepreneur, burning cash on a blackjack table. I wasn't sitting at a table last night throwing down money. I would rather go shopping and keep my shoes, okay? So, I'm not a fan of ads. That's fine, we're all different, right? But the reality is 100% of nothing is nothing. If you're not on page 1 of Google, and if you're not on the maps, that might be the only way you get some money in the door, honey. So sometimes you have to do it. Okay. So you kind of get what I'm saying when I'm saying you have to do the right things in the right order at the right time. What that is. If you get advice from the wrong person and you head down the wrong road, that can be a painful discovery process because it already is hard. It already takes a long time, right? So start with this. Inventory your website. Do you have one page of content text on the page that y'all wrote or you paid somebody to write that uses that phrase in the content. So Google, when it's deaf and blind, it reads the content via Braille. It can see that that content is about something specific. Specific. Is your website designed well? Is it secure? Is it built properly? All of these things. If you build a store and the foundation is jacked up, it's not secure, the wiring's bad, it doesn't meet code, all of these things, that's not a good day, right? Same thing in a website. When you build the site, do you have one page of content for every service you want to sell? And once you do, are you investing in marketing activities to make those individual pages popular enough that they're seen by all of the humans who are Googling for, whether they're talking to their wrist or they're searching on a computer or they're typing in their phone? Is it visible? If that store is empty, they're toast, right? If that store is not on the map, I can't find it, there's no good signage, it's not on my street, it's not in my city, they're toast, right? That's what your website is. It's a store. It has to have each one of those. When we take a site and we analyze what percent of that site is ranking on page 1 of Google. So if you have a page on your site and that page is, let me back up. No. All right, well, that's not going to work. So I'll just put it like this. Every single page on your website has a rank on Google, and it has a number of competitive pages. So if you have a page on your site and it says AC installation in Peoria, Arizona, sorry, yep. Where does it rank on Google? So you would go to Google and you would type in AC repair in Peoria, Arizona, and a drawer would open, big giant file drawer, and there'd be a certain number of pages, and you should have a report, Jasmine would have it, that says you are number 8 of 141 million pages. That is awesome progress. You need to know the exact placement of every page on your website. So for all of you that are clients, every page that is on page 1 of Google, that means you are an option for a service you want to sell in a city you want to sell it. Your next phase is, do you look the best when they get there? Promotions, content, video, pictures, case studies, anything you can put on that page to drive a consumer to say, this looks the best. They offer financing, looks like they have the best rates, best programs, it's right there. Continue to improve those internal pages. Continue to make them better. Because if you're an option, that is fantastic. Most people are working on that. All right, conversions. We've talked a little bit about this. I'm just gonna blow through these real quick. Every option you have gives you access to a different set of consumers. Every option you don't have reduces your ability to communicate to those consumers. So for the humans that are searching for your services from their job and don't want to get caught, if you don't offer the ability for them to chat with you, you lost that option because they'll go to someone who does. For the ability, or for the consumer who can't take care of their personal list because they got kids, they got soccer, they got practice, they got dog news tracked and all this stuff, I gotta make dinner, I know what this feels like. I don't get to my list until 2 o'clock in the morning and I'll be right from bed. Okay, I got this. So if your website is closed, your Google business listing says you closed at 5:01, you don't give the ability for them to schedule something online with you to talk to you tomorrow on their lunch break at 2, you lost that option. They're gonna go to someone else. For the people who think that calling, me, I can't call, I can't talk on the phone, because I talk all day like this. Every ounce of business I did, hate to say it, but it was when I took my little 5-minute break, and it's text. I handle everything from text. I can't call, so if you don't have texting available on your website, there are a group of people like myself, you would lose that group. So just think about it as it's not about your personal preference or taste, it's about what other people like. Keep adding those pieces of technology that make it easier for people to work with you. I'm only talking about the easy stuff. Can they schedule online? That should be a yes. Text, yes. Call, yes. Chat, yes. Those are the basics that you would expect from any bank or any business that you work with right now. When you really get into, can they subscribe? Can they buy a subscription to your maintenance plan online, put their credit card in, and they automatically, you charge them a regular monthly fee, and they don't have to worry about maintenance. You just come take care of it. You change out the batteries in their thermostats, you change the batteries in their smoke detectors, come change the filters. I'm all about red carpet service. I'm all about giving you my credit card and not having to worry about it. Just charge it, take care of it, we're cool. Like, there's a whole group of humans who love that. For you guys, it's recurring revenue. Make it easy. Let them sign up on your website, put in a credit card, subscribe, call it a day, and just do great work. All right, we could keep going. It's a good list. Local marketing, I'm not going to dive into that very much. What I am going to do is show you how you can predict the future. This is wildly important. If you take nothing else away, this is also the most complicated piece of what I'm going to go through, but it's incredibly important. If you have the ability to predict your annual revenue based on a series of actions and data, it's going to make you a different business owner. You can intentionally drive a business that creates a 20 or 25 or 30% margin. That would be a good day than operating on a tight shoestring, a 5% margin. Let me show you how this can be done. And this is what you're working for or towards as you're starting through this 12-step roadmap. Every search term has a specific search volume. We can see the total number of humans searching for AC installation in blank. That's a count, number. Might be 12, might be 100, might be 1,200. Most of the time, that's the first error, is people over-project what they think people are actually looking for in an area. Okay, having a realistic understanding of how many humans are searching for ductless air conditioner systems in Bakersfield, California, that's step one. Okay, are you an option? And how many people are looking? What is the total monthly search volume? Total number of humans typing in that search phrase in that city online. Start there. Next, impressions. How many times is your company seen? If your company is showcased in the local service ads, you got a shot in that area. If you're also shown in the AdWords, you have another higher percentage. If you're also shown on the map, because it's your local town, you've got a verified Google app or Google business listing, your odds go up again. If you're showcased on page 1, position 1 through 3, your odds just shot up again. If you're showcased on page 1, position 4 through 10, now you have another percentage of odds. All of that equals the total number of eyeballs from the number of searches that gets to see your business. Are we tracking? We're together? Anybody questions so far? Okay. Next, every one of you guys has a click-through rate, a CTR. It is a number that's tracked on your website that says what percent of the visitors click through into the website. That's CTR rate, okay? That percentage is giving you another mathematical equation. If I have 10 total people looking, and I have 80% of the market share because I'm in Google service ads, I'm on paid ads, I'm in the map, I'm on page 1, I'm sitting on the first 3 listings, I get 80% of the options. And my click-through rate is 3%. Should have done different math. We'll pretend like that was 10. We're gonna go 3. Okay? That means I get 3 people that come to the website. My bounce rate is going to tell me, of the 3, how many leave when they get there. My conversion rate is going to be how many people take action once they're there. They fill out a form, or they text, or they chat, or they schedule, or they subscribe, or they buy. That's a conversion rate. And your acquisition rate is how good are your CSRs at answering the phones on all scenarios. So if you get a phone call and it's somebody asking for your competitor, if they call in and say, oh, I was looking for ABC heating and air conditioning, does your CSR crap out? Is it French? Or do they say, well, this is not ABC heating and air conditioning, but it is 1, 2, 3 heating and air conditioning. Let me tell you a little bit about how we're different, right? If Your conversion ratio here, the success of every human on your team and how they impact your total conversion rate, when you understand this math, you can take any set of services and predict by tying in what is your average ticket value. If your average ticket value for repair, service, and maintenance is what, 375? 400? Am I close? Okay. You know what that math is. You might not be willing to pay per call and be in LSA. You might not be willing to pay per ad, per click, and be in Google paid ads. Because if you have to pay $40 per conversion on a $350 ticket, you might not feel good about that. I don't know what your margins are. So your impression share might be lower on that service because you're not in the paid ad. You're not paying per click. You're not paying per call. So you might only be able to go after organics in the map for that. Does that make sense? Yeah? Maybe go through it again? Okay. If your average ticket, how many of you guys are offering financing? How many offer financing 100% of the time? 50% or more. Okay, for 50% or more, what's your average ticket size for installation or replacement? $8,000 or higher? Yes? Do you make bigger tickets on your financing deals?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So I will say this, having a lot of access to information and data. We know that the dealers who offer financing 100% of the time have an average higher ticket size than any of the dealers not offering financing or offering it less than 50% of the time. We know that. Having my family own a real estate mortgage broker, on a side note, it's kind of a legal compliance thing. You probably should offer it all the time, so there's no bias with who you offer financing to and who you don't. Most humans don't have an interest in saving up $8,000 or $12,000 and putting it in a bank account to buy a new gray box. Usually that's their vacation money. So it's a good idea to offer financing. All right? So when you take this and you put it in a spreadsheet, which we do all the time, and you say for AC installation, my average ticket price is $8,000. There's this many searches in this particular city. There's this many impressions based on my impression percentage. There's this many click-throughs. This many people leave. They bounce. This many people convert. They fill out something on the website that they like, a text, a message, something. And my CSRs for every single call for that service type convert this many of them into customers. You can predict the future. You can know how much money you can make in your company based on the assets you have available on your website. You will know, I only have 90 pages on my website. And half of those pages are junk pages, no content. Which means I have 50 pages on my site. And of those 50 pages, 40 of them are on page 1, position 1. And I'm not doing ads, I'm not doing LSAs, and I'm kind of on the map. Now you can work backwards into the exact amount, or very close to, of revenue you can bring in for your business. Does that make sense? It's all math. 10. So, I didn't do this in the last group. My son is calling. Should I answer? So, I should put him on video. So for you guys, what questions do you have so far? What stands out to you as, okay, that's complicated, or that makes sense? Or what are your thoughts so far? What are your thoughts so far? Yes?
Do you think it's better for someone to try to figure this all on their own, or to actually go through someone?
I love that you asked that question. So I have a team of 100. I know this relatively well, right? But our team, they are all subject matter experts and required to listen to and understand the most current requirements, trends, technology, code, industry standards, and so forth. Would any of you choose to do this yourself, or would you? Yes. Do you do any of this? So even Jasmine, who lives in the environment as a middlewoman, she doesn't do this stuff, right? She calls a designer because they know Photoshop. They went to art school. They dress nice. They have real friends. They're creative, right? She will call the developer when she needs help, and they build ugly websites, but the code is pretty, it's clean, it's object-oriented. They live in the matrix. It's a green screen. When they look at green screen like the matrix, it actually looks like a website to them. She will call an engineer when she needs a decision because they're not going to guess. They're not going to give their opinions. They're going to give educated advice based on data and all of that. So the challenge is, in this environment, A, mothers haven't learned how to give birth to all those personality styles in one human being yet. They all spit out a little different. And secondly, you guys have a job to do. There are a list of things, and every business owner in this room should be writing down a list of the things that only they can do. You guys need to be taking pictures, creating content. You guys should be recording videos. You should be creating digital assets that a bunch of nerds can use in all these different environments. They can send through all these different channels. Technically, when you wake up every day and it feels like Groundhog's Day, think of it like a rocking chair. Busy being busy doesn't mean you're going somewhere, right? You're moving, but you're repeating yourself all day. I have a hard time when we're talking to a client. I'm like, we gotta have content. We need content. Please, you're the expert. I know enough about heating and air conditioning to be dangerous. I know how consumers look for it, but I also know I ripped the return fan thing off the wall and ripped the paint off because I thought it needed a filter. So you guys have all of the knowledge. You have that visual, don't you? Like you have to peel the paint off the wall. Totally thought my dad said replace the filter. I didn't know where they went. Okay, so anyway, you guys have all these stories in your head of things that people need to know. Some of you are the best salespeople in your company. Why sit and repeat the same thing every single day like Groundhog's Day and make an excuse that is not truthful? I don't have time. You have time to say the same thing every day. Why don't you have time to digitize it, record it, take a picture of it, put it in a format where we can take a copy of the best people in your business and we can put it on a website so people looking for what it is that you know can find you while you go do something else? That's legit. So, long answer to your question. You guys need to focus on creating content. You need to focus on being the documentarians for your company. You need to focus on the business at hand. You need to focus on decision making, and you need to focus on making happy customers that create great digital reviews that can work for you as an endorsement forever. Okay, is that helpful? That was a good question. I like that. Anybody else got a good doozy like that? Questions, thoughts? I'm gonna pick you. What do you think? What are the things that stand out to you?
Me?
Yep.
To me, this is very informative. It's kind of an eye-opener of the things that we could be doing better and things that we're not doing.
Fantastic. That's fair. That actually is the agenda item. What are we doing that's working? Keep doing that. Do more of it. What are we doing that's not working? Reallocate it. Do something different. Don't keep doing it. And what's next? Where's the list of the things I should be doing that I'm not doing? My business coach, he said, Jen, if I could only get you to do the things you know you already should, you'd consider me a genius. Knock that out. Like, that hurt my feelings. So, good. I like that. What else? Yes?
How about timeline? I mean, so you decided to do it, Isaac's recommended it. I mean, what's realistic? You know, like, should we say the investment's 6 months just to get a little bit of result, and then more in a year, and 2 years?
I love that question.
2 years at least got results.
I love that question. So that's wildly important. I tell my team all the time, before they make any claims on timelines, they need to sing it. Show me what you're working with. Every one of your timelines is entirely different. No one in here can say, oh, it'll take 6 months for this, 6 months for this, because each of you are coming to the table with a different laundry list of stuff. Some good, some not so good. Some of you are coming to the table with no URL. You're buying a new URL, your domain age is 4 months old, that is what it is. You're in a much longer cycle than someone who came to us that had a domain name with no penalties for the last 10 years who just had a bad website. They're in a different timeline than someone that comes to us who has a domain name for 10 years, no penalties, and had a good website, but not great marketing. Every one of you has a different number of reviews. Every one of you has a different following on Facebook. Every one of you has a different database of information. Some of you come to the table and you think QuickBooks is your primary CRM system. We can't do email marketing out of QuickBooks with a name and an address. But we can build a bot that takes a CRM system that has phone numbers, cell phone numbers, and email addresses, and convert it into an email sequence, a text sequence. You're gonna move faster than someone that doesn't come to the table with that. So the reality is, if all things were considered equal, I can tell you, when we implement the program, step 1 through 6, which is part of the Dealer Elite program, if all things were completed equal, if everybody had 5 years online, at least good quality hand set of reviews with the 4.8 stars or higher in the right place, you came to the table with content for each page that you needed, I can tell you that we can get you ranked. It takes 30 days per 100,000 search results for us to get on page 1 of Google and you to see a difference. But not everybody's in that position. In fact, no one is.
So it's better to keep our bad website that we've had forever instead of fire a new one?
The longer you wait to do it right, the more difficult it is to compete. This is getting harder by the year, not easier. So some of you heard me last year and did nothing. Some of you heard me last year and did something. And I can pick out on my lovelies that heard the same presentation 4 years ago and they did something then. They're much further along than those who start now. That is what it is. And I have actually, in the last class, I know 4 people that have heard the same presentation and said they were gonna get started 4 years in a row. Like it's not even the same conversation. It's totally different. Our program, I mean, that's the beauty about the Ferguson and Day and Night program. It is the only program that includes around $35,000 in infrastructure services with an investment that's pennies compared to that. That's the entry-level program. If you were to go anywhere out and you were to ask for that complicated of a website with 6 pages of content, plus an entire database of products, plus a SARE calculator, troubleshooter, an FAQ area, plus a CRM system, an online scheduling system, 70 local listings, SEO for over 200 phrases, all of these things, you'd be out tremendous amounts. But here, essentially what we've done is work with these guys to develop what is the best launch of a business in a digital format we can get. Now, weathermasters, AC doctors, all of you guys, is it gonna take you phase over phase over phase? You need to look at the whole 12-step roadmap. There's pieces you're not doing yet that are wildly important. So your pie is a smaller area. It's time to start adding. You need more content, you need to keep doing more SEO, you need to start looking at, should I get into Google with service ads? But for everyone in here, sitting in the same situation, you already know what that situation gives you today. So it's time to make a decision. I mean, I would jump on board. What we're trying to do through this is take what normally takes businesses many, many years and compress it into the fastest period of time that we can to get a whole bunch done without violating any policies and get it done quickly. Make sense? Isaac, do you have anything you want to add?
That's great.
Yes, sir. Thanks for your input, bud.
It seems pretty imperative that we get all this data. Well, what is the avenue that we're getting it to you to get to our website? So we have all these folders that we can turn out.
So you literally hit, so if you're talking about the Google Drive, where all your assets are,
Yeah, we're all these files that we need to have all these files so that when somebody clicks on that was Facebook and it will bring this up in our area. And let's say we have a picture of our install and our video of that. What's the avenue that we're getting that to use to put on our website?
if it's already on your website, we're gonna go take it and we don't ask you for it. And we put it on your new site. If it's things, so all you do with us, once you're a client and you have content that you want to go on your website, you have a whole team of nerds that you can reach at help@ciwebgroup.com. You literally send an email and say, I want this video added to my air conditioning page. I want these testimonials added to this page. I want these promotions to be on this page. You send an email directly to help@ciwebgroup.com, goes into a ticket system. You can log in and see every request you've ever sent, what the completion time is on it, what the stage is on it, everything in one shot. Cool? Good question. Yes, sir.
Then if you send videos and stuff like that, you just get a bill for it later.
Not if you're an elite dealer. So if you're on the elite dealer program and you want to add stuff to your website, that's what we do, is we take care of all of you guys. You need a change on the site, you submit it to the help desk. You need something added, you submit it. If you want services that are not included in the program, if you are earning accrual funds over time, I believe, can they use their accrual funds on? Okay. So technically, is it annual? Ends in December? Okay. So here's the logic. You sign up for the elite dealer program, right? That is going to cover the basics of step 1 through 7. You spend your first year infrastructure, we build the pages, get your listings, start tracking data, get a lot of data. Every year after, as your business continues to grow, you're acquiring funds through the accrual program, and those funds are available. Do they expire in December, expire and lose, or roll over? Or? They expire. So in October, mark your calendar in October, every single year a recurring note that says, leverage my accrual dollars to create one-time assets for my website to help continue to grow. Everyone who's on this should say, I want 10 more pages, I want a press release, I want some more SEO, let's go after this particular search phrase I know is a moneymaker in this area. Do that every single year. And then when you're to a point where you do have extra funds to start looking at the things that are not part of the program, that's part of the strategy conversations. Have those conversations. What am I doing that's working? Do more of it. Add more content. What am I doing that's not working? She's going to tell you, and they're probably already reallocated to something different. What's next? Make that list, prioritize it. They'll make recommendations, and just try and do something new to get a better result on the other end. Keep growing. Do it year over year over year. I will tell you, I've had 2 dealers leave the Dealer Elite program. 2. And both of them, when they left, it hurt our soul. Like Jasmine was near tears. I watched their website rankings tank. Literally, they were on page 1 of Google for thousands of different terms in over 60 cities. And in a matter of 6 months, they took 4 years of work and just went, whew. Why'd they do it? Because somebody came into their office that said, I know how to do websites. So be very, very careful. Everything needs to be centered around making progress, taking a step forward, not around starting over and over again. If you're in a great position, if you're working with one of the top 3 agencies, congratulations. But there's only 3 major marketing companies that own the majority of search rankings in all of heating and air conditioning. And Dan and I just put together a pretty good program for you guys to take advantage of that. Cool? All right. We have, number 1, if you guys are interested in getting started, so Isaac, correct me if I'm wrong, you guys are going to start with Clay. Oh, take out your phones. We'll make this easy. I'm going to have you text a phone number real quick. And you're going to text 877-839-1122. So it's 877, I'm going to make this big, 839-1122. And in the message, just type in the word Ferguson and hit send. That is, save it as CI Web Group. If you have a question, here, somebody asked me in the last class what the best pizza place local by, and I saw an answer go out. Somebody asked what a good gravity chair was. I saw an answer go out. I don't care what your question is. If you need help with something, text that number. Our leadership team, our project managers, our analysts have access to this text. They can help you. If you guys are interested in signing up for the Elite Dealer Program, we have some great bennies we're adding to it as well. There's an application link for you to just let us know that you're interested, and then we'll get together with your TM to figure out if you guys qualify to be able to sign up and get rocking and rolling. And other than that, I will tell you this. We already know it's almost summer. We already know that if you delay 30 days to sign up. It's going to be right before your season and you're going to disappear. And we already know your website's going to take forever if you make that delay. We know you'll disappear. We know you won't answer your calls. We know you won't show up. So since we know that that's highly probable and it doesn't help you, let's not do that. Let's make a decision and commit to taking this small window of time in your shoulder season before the season starts to get busy and rock and roll. Cool? Good? All right, fantastic. I have our friend and one of our newest colleagues and partners here that is going to come up and tell you a little bit about how to take the data you have sitting in different systems and make it smarter without having to use humans to do so. Is that fair? And I can think of, I would take 5 more hours thinking about all the applications that you can do with this. So you guys, enjoy. Thank you so much.